We're rolling. Oof. Switching it myself today. Oh God, look at that fella. He's so handsome. I think this is probably what we'll just keep it on for the rest of the
no need to switch
for the rest of the time.
No need to switch it.
Yeah, everybody already knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just got back from Missouri and it was cool. I just yesterday, Matthew, just over 24 hours ago, I was over a mile up in the air atop the St. Louis Arch. Can you believe it?
I can.
Me too.
Because I knew you were going to the St. Louis Arch.
Yep.
I've seen the Arch from a distance, never been inside of it. It was COVID when I was in St. Louis, so.
Oh, they weren't letting anybody in?
I didn't check.
They should. I hope not, because it was a very tight. The things that you get in, here, I'll look them up.
I'm not a heights guy either, as you know.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, it really did not feel like bad when you got in there. I should have widened.
See, because do you take an elevator up?
Yeah, so I'll look at it.
I'm already out.
This is the worst thing. I mean, I would assume so. So this is like what you're in,
and it kind of zoops you around the arch.
Yeah, so it you're in this tiny like egg.
I'll call it a pod.
Yeah, it really is a pod. It's very, very small. You're very, very close to I mean, this is the full thing.
Yeah, five at a time.
Yeah, 5 at a time. They have you all like get in there. The doors to get inside of the pod are only 4 feet high, so you have to like really squeeze in to like get inside there. And then here's one of like a woman sitting in it
in the pod,
so that maybe gives you like a better idea of what it's like.
She's in
it's
the
a
pod.
It's a tight squeeze, but you get up there and it's
what's up there? You got like a walk.
Oh, yeah. So it's like you can only you have to.
It's an arch.
It's an arch. You wind your way up to the top, and there's just like this little hallway, and it's got a bunch of tiny windows on either side, like little rectangular windows, and see, this is how the tram, this is how they work. So you like swoop and dupe up like that. So they have trams going up the one side, the north side of the arch, and then the south side of the arch. And then they, you meet up top in this hallway, but you're not allowed to go to the other side. There's like a velvet rope down the center.
Classic.
It's pretty cool, actually. And then you look out, you can see, and the angles or the windows are angled, so you can look straight down if you want to. And then there was a Cardinals game going on, and you could see into the stadium, so you could watch the baseball game.
That's pretty neat.
But you're only up there for like 7 or 8 minutes, I think, because you're only up there for enough time for the people who were there before you to go back down and new people to come back up.
And then you take their shuttle down.
And then you take their shuttle down.
That's what I was going to ask. What's the what's the traffic flow? So that's the answer to my question. Yeah, I don't know. Big old yawn.
Yeah.
I'm not a big heights guy. Like, I don't fuck with the Space Needle. Space Needle's not for me.
You went up there though. When
but I
right?
didn't like it.
See, that's a thing that I wish they had in the Arch, because in the Space Needle they have that thing. These fucking
cans are off.
In the Space Needle, they have that thing where part of the floor is glass, so you step on it, and it's, like, very clean.
Do they really?
Yeah, you don't remember that?
I probably didn't go near it.
I don't know if you stepped on it, but I did.
I definitely didn't step on it.
I wish they had that at the St. Louis Arch, because that would have been wild.
At the Arch?
It's over a mile up in the air. It's like, it's something over 600 feet tall. It's really, really
a mile's a lot more than 600 feet.
That's why I'm saying it's over. No, a mile is
5,000. Look up a mile.
No, you're right. Yeah. You're right. No, you got me on that one. God damn it. The whole time I'm driving in today, I was like, I was over a mile up in the sky.
Yeah, well, so you weren't a mile up in the sky.
No, dude, I was 600-something feet up there, which I was not even a quarter of a mile.
No,
I was nowhere close to even a quarter of the mile up.
Not even a little bit. How many feet are in
a mile?
It's
the eighth of a mile city. That's what they call St. Louis, baby.
Yeah. How many feet are in a mile?
5,280.
Really?
That's my guess. Dude. I'm pretty sure when I think about how many feet there are in a mile, those are the 3 numbers that come to mind.
How many feet are in a mile? 5,280 feet. Look at this. They
Nice.
did teach us something at school.
Yeah, they taught us one thing,
And
and it was that.
was it a good wedding, though?
Oh, yeah.
So you weren't in the actual hometown of the bride and groom.
No, it was too tiny to fit everybody.
That's not
So
as
I didn't
fun.
get to check out the quilt stores.
That's not as
We were in
fun.
Jefferson City, which was really still like pretty.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on there.
Take me down to the Jefferson City. That one, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one they sang about.
Take me home.
Oh, also, so we're like standing in line because they take you onto the arch in groups, obviously. So we're like standing in line waiting for our group to go into the next station. It's literally like a ride at Disney World. Like they have you, okay, you guys
Yeah.
stop, and then these people go.
How many in your group?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
And so we're waiting in line, and the first thing I see is the cane, and I'm like, what? No way. And then this person keeps walking like around the corner, and there was a blind guy getting off this arch, which like,
Yeah.
what's he gonna do?
No, I'm with you there.
I didn't make a big deal out of it, but I did kind of look around like,
Is anybody else?
are we
wondering
gonna
the
talk
same
about
thing?
this?
Yeah.
Like this guy is, he was smiling, so he looked.
Well, he's probably like, let me be high on this guy.
Yeah, but I mean, you could have just bought a box fan and done this.
There's no
told him he
wind.
made it.
It's not open air.
Well, he doesn't know that.
He
So,
probably- that's probably what he does know
oh
is that
no!
it's
One of
not
the
open
windows
air.
cracked. One of the windows cracked.
Yeah, no.
I assume his name was like Jeremy or something. Most blind people's names are Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Yeah, usually.
see that.
Usually, if you see a blind guy, you call out Jeremy, you got like a 70% chance that he's gonna turn around, use echolocation to find
Dude,
you.
this actually brings up a funny story. A buddy of mine, I guess it's maybe not funny,
Okay, can't wait.
but the guy that does his taxes, 100% blind.
Wow, damn, that's cool though. That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's actually
So,
awesome.
yeah, he wasn't always blind, so he was been doing taxes for a long time, and then he went blind, and he still does taxes, and he has like an assistant, I guess. And my buddy said like when he goes there in person to get his taxes done, right? And they got like all your forms in front of him, and the assistant will be like looking for something. He'll call out because he's got like a computer that he types all the info into, and he'll like call out like I need to know like the so and so, and the assistant will be like looking for it. He'll be like, it's the third box to the left, and the assistant will be like third box to the left. Boom. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Said it's pretty crazy.
You think you'd be good at being blind if you went
I'd
blind?
be god awful. I'm not even good at being able to see. I'm one of those people that's always like, hey, can you help me find this? And they're like, the thing that's right there. I'm like, yep, that's what it is.
I think I'd be great at being blind. I think if I went blind, I'd be their king in no time.
Daredevil style.
Pretty
You'd
much
be the
pretty
Lisan Al
much-
Gaib of visually impaired people.
The Lisan Al.
No, you're not gonna get
The
there.
Lisa. No, hold on. I will. The Lee. The peep. The
No.
peepers.
No,
the peep.
you
The peeps
lost
on
me.
Al. The peep. The peeps on Al.
No,
Jabrib.
that's the king of the gigolos.
King of the Gigolos. I could be that too. King of the Gig. It's
King of the
time.
blind
It is
gigolos.
time that
That's king of the blind gigolos.
it's time, dude. First of all, if you're a blind gigolo, then it really benefits your job because I think one of the toughest parts about being any sex worker is that you're
Not
certainly
with those
not
height- not with
always.
those other heightened senses, man. Not with those
Oh,
other
no.
heightened senses.
Being a blind gigolo with a heightened sense of taste might be that's punishment.
Yeah.
That's one of the 7 layers of hell in Dante's
Oh,
Inferno.
jeez.
That's like a Greek mythology punishment. Sisyphus has to push the rock up the hill.
Yeah.
Fucking Jeremy the blind gigolo has to
Yeah.
lick vagina.
Well, we are. This one thing I was excited to talk about. We're fresh off the eclipse.
Oh yeah, that's
Almost 3 hours on the button since the eclipse.
Mm-hmm. Did they let you out? Did you go outside and look at all?
Yeah. I was at home in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I popped outside. I came out of my office around like 2:30, 2:40, and I was like, is anything eclipsing? And my girlfriend was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, let me know when something starts eclipsing. It was cloudy, obviously, and then like 3:08 came around. I was like, something's got to be eclipsing out there. Let me get outside. So I got outside, threw a lawn chair out in the front yard, threw the glass on. There's a lot of people like in my vicinity. My neighbors were having like a gathering, so there was a bunch of people like in their driveway. They had a little tent pitched, a bunch of lawn chairs. My neighbors on the other side, they had like their whole family there. They were ready for the eclipse. There's like a park down the street, so there was some noise coming from that way. There's a big old like park playground. It's part of a school across the street, so there were kids freaking running and screaming everywhere because the schools were off. So I mean, there was people everywhere. It was pure madness. Did you watched it? What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on the totality of the eclipse, on the eclipse in general?
Well, here's the thing, man.
Well, mostly the totality, because obviously it was pretty cloudy.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing. I've seen an eclipse before.
Really?
Yeah, there was one. I think in 2000.
Not in total.
No, not in totality. But you don't have to be in totality. If you put the glasses on and you look at the sun during an eclipse, you can see like there's something in front of it.
Yeah.
It's not blocking your sunlight from where you are, but there's like a big fucking black dot in the middle of the sun, which is the moon. So I've seen an eclipse before. So I wasn't I didn't really care. Because we couldn't see it because of the clouds. Except for one little bit, I did see a tiny sliver, which was fine.
Were you rocking glasses?
No, I couldn't because...
couldn't see it without the glasses.
I couldn't... With the glasses, you couldn't see it.
Yes.
Is what you're saying. So, at first, I tried to put the glasses on, but I was like, this isn't working. So then I would, like, look real quick to see, like... Because I want to... catch blindness, but although of course if I did, I'd be a pro at it. We've established.
Ironic that's how we started the conversation.
That is
today.
true.
And I segued into the eclipse, and it was totally unrelated.
Did not even put two and two together.
No.
God,
is that insensitive of us?
No, it just feels a little stupid. Like I feel a little stupid about it. Dude, even at the wedding, I was telling people like. I'm so nervous that I am going to look at the eclipse without glasses just because I'm not going to be able to resist. Like I feel like I was worried that I would go blind because from lack of self-control, which they tell you the same thing in the Catholic Church, if you know what I'm saying, folks.
You go cross-eyed. Name that movie.
Grown-Ups.
The Love Guru.
Thank God I couldn't name it. That was the real test. It's a good thing I couldn't name that one. But the totality thing was awesome. Because where I was, I was at this bar. They were having like a little event, so there were a lot of people there. And because it was so cloudy, a lot of folks were like, oh, man, this stinks. I can't see to do. Well, this is just what we're going to do. It will did. This what's going on down the boom. Which is perfect impression of a lot of people there. And I was like, and I get, you know what, maybe that's on me because, again, I've seen an eclipse before, I guess. But that, like, the seeing the moon be in front of the sun is, I don't give a shit. Like, it's not that cool. I'll just tell you the truth. So they're all like, and I'm like, it's still going to get dark. Like, that's the part where, that's what's going to be cool is when we are... boom, when it's fucking nighttime all of a sudden. So then when that happened, it was cool. And everybody did feel, I think, a little more satisfied after that.
Okay. So where I was, like at my house, there was like some breaks in the clouds right around when you would, as it was like minutes, like when I was out there, like from like 6, whatever, like 3:08, like, yeah. But it was, so there was parts where it was cloudy to the point where if you put the glasses on, you couldn't see anything. But if you stared right at it, like you could see what was going on. And you're like, I feel like I should not be staring at this.
Yeah.
So I was kind of doing the same thing. Like I'd be like, I really want to look So I kind of look up, and I was like looking at the other people to see what they were doing, and like there was a lot. Most of the people next to me were like just looking at it because you couldn't see it with the glasses on. So I'm like, well, I'd take some glance. I took some glances.
Well, I put my regular sunglasses on to look at it. I didn't go bear ride.
Oh,
I didn't raw dog the Eclipse.
Raw dogging it. Not like
dude,
full
you gotta
on,
be careful.
Though. No,
you can't be raw dogging those Eclipses.
But I was just like kind of, but like that's the thing is like it was visibly cloudy. Like it wasn't bright out. You know what I mean?
The clouds were doing the glasses job,
and like the people next to me were doing it too. So like everybody was like, it wasn't until like totality was about to happen that I was like, I should probably put my glasses on. Like, and I wasn't really looking at the. I only looked like probably one glance at it, and then I found a spot when I put my glass, because I would put my glasses on. I would look for so long, like show me a sign of something, you know, nothing. And then finally, like I'm standing up there with the glasses, and all of a sudden I see like a sliver of red, and I'm like, there it is. Like I got the glasses on. I see the sliver of red. I wasn't like fired up about it or anything, but I was like, everybody put your glasses on. I can see it.
Yeah.
And then I heard like a mom yell to the kids all around, put your glasses on! Put your glasses on! Like screaming at the kids.
And there's one kid standing on the roof, no glasses, the strongest of all.
Yeah, the Lisan Al Gaib.
The Lisan Al Gaib.
So
of North Tonawanda.
And then the totality comes.
And then, folks, totality.
And it got dark quick.
Yeah.
And it was dark for like a few minutes.
Yep.
What was your thought process? What were you feeling in the darkness?
I was like, this is cool. It's getting darker. And then it was getting darker, and I was like, oh boy, it's getting darker. And it's because it's literally like watching a Polaroid photo like come in, you know, whatever, but or in, you know what I'm saying,
in reverse.
Develop, that's the word
in
I'm
reverse,
trying to think.
Though.
Yeah. Or
regardless.
Yeah. But that's what it's like. So it was really cool. And you know, all the nighttime insects and frogs start like making their sounds.
Oh, because you were out in the sticks a
little bit. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is. But so then on the flip side of that, when the sun comes back up, the birds go crazy because they have no idea what just happened.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, it's over. We've angered the bird gods somehow."
Yeah.
Like, you know,
the Lisan Al Gaib in trouble.
Yeah. The Lisan Al
Gaib. Yeah.
That one didn't work, but you know, fuck. I just want to get one good Lisan Al Gaib fucking wordplay pun thing, whatever in here. So all of a sudden, because there's a forest right across the street, so the sun comes back up, and all of a sudden, every bird just shoots into the sky and starts screaming. And, you know, typically when birds fly, they're pretty good at being organized. These birds were just it was pandemonium. It was like what I assume Pompeii was like when Vesuvius erupted. And the sound was very jarring. It was insane. Like people were freaked out about it, but it was very cool to see the animal kingdom, you know, writhe like that, while us, the smart people who were staring at the eclipse, knew what was going on. We're totally fine.
Andy?
Oh, boy.
I think that I knew what was going to happen. Like, I knew it was going to get dark.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think I had prepared myself for it, because I'll tell you what, I didn't like it one bit.
Oh, no.
I'm putting it on the record. I am anti-Eclipse. I do not want to. Andy, we're out there. It goes dark. And, like, everybody's oohing and on.
Yeah.
And, like, all of a sudden I'm standing there and I'm just like, I don't fuck with this at all. Like, I do not feel like I do not feel like I should be outside unprotected right now. Like, I didn't know what I needed, but, like, I was like, I was like, oh, the dog, looks like the dog's freaking out, and I like ran inside. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I don't know what's going on out here.
You went inside?
Oh yeah, I tapped on the whole Eclipse, Andy.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I do not like the dark. I did not like it. I was not a fan.
That's primal. I mean, that's literal caveman shit. Like, the sun is gone, everyone freak out.
For whatever reason, I don't know what the reason behind like the setting that I was in, like, and I wasn't prepared for it, because, like, I wasn't paying attention. I was working all day, and then, you know what I mean? I was just, like, as Eclipse, and then 5 minutes before I walk outside, and I'm like, I don't like this. You want to know why? I think it was like, I felt I was a bird, Andy. I was a bird, okay? I'm using metaphor here. I knew that it was supposed to get dark, and the second that it got dark, I was like, at nighttime when the sun sets, I know when the sun's coming back up. Somebody needs to bring the fucking sun back up right now. Like, this is not natural. Somebody bring me the sun back right now. I was a bird, Andy. I was a bird. I was a human bird.
So, okay, so I'll tell you the truth. It's worse than I thought. My diagnosis, it's worse than I thought it was.
Andy, I did not like the eclipse. It freaked me out a little bit.
It wasn't that it got dark. It wasn't that the sun went away.
No.
No. Let me finish this.
This is what I think is probably the case. Because the second it went fully dark, I was like, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. This is unnatural. I don't like this.
It's not that the sun went away. It's that you didn't know when the sun was going to come back. The sun went to the store to get cigarettes, and you were terrified waiting on the porch that it would never come see you play Little League again.
I didn't like the eclipse, Andy. I don't know if I wasn't prepared for it, but like once it got dark, I was like, this is a little spooky.
Hey, Matthew, it's not your fault.
See?
Matthew?
On here.
Matthew?
No.
It's not your fault.
Andy.
Matthew. Hey, Matthew.
Do you know how fucking easy this is for me to know every day when the sun's going to come up and know every day when the sun's going to go down? You know how easy this is for me?
It's not your fault.
Why'd you paint that? Because your wife died?
Yeah.
Get it? Yeah.
I'm Robin Williams, and I got giant hands.
Keep her name out of your mouth. Will Smith.
Yeah. Will Smith almost played Robin Williams' role in Good Will Hunting.
No,
it was between Neo, Wild Wild West, and playing Sean in Good Will Hunting, and he chose Wild Wild West. Wiki.
Yeah. End of the day. Didn't like the eclipse. No, I shouldn't say that. Andy, it wasn't like...
That's so funny.
I had like an eerie feeling. It was an eerie... Anybody out there who says they didn't get an eerie feeling is lying. You didn't have any eerie feeling.
No, not eerie. I was like, this is cool.
Feeling.
But also...
It was eerie.
But also, man, I did know that that it was only going to take a few minutes for the sun to come back.
I knew that. It was like 3 minutes. I knew, Andy. I knew. And it actually came... Like, I went back outside... at the perfect time when the first glimpse of light came back out again. And I was like, this is exciting.
Terrific.
Sun's back. But it was eerie. I don't care what anybody says. I thought it was eerie. Like, again, I probably not over exaggerated, like drummed it up a little bit and saying like, but I did go back inside because I was like, I don't like this total darkness thing. Because it was...
That's funny.
Yeah, I didn't like it. Didn't feel right.
Yeah, I don't think you'll ever have to deal with it again. I don't think this area is supposed to be in the totality again.
Unless I have to overcome my fear of eclipses and go find the next totality.
Eclipse hunting? That's not a bad idea, Matthew.
I mean,
Matthew Canada, Eclipse hunter? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I get to post once every 15 years or so or whatever it is.
I wonder how often...
I think it's...
I don't know.
I don't know.
We get where parts of the globe get... completely covered like that, but I don't think this area is going to be in a totality again over 100 years or something like that.
I'm gone.
Yep, if we're lucky.
Shout out to eclipses.
Yep, ellipses, going on tripses, seeing the world.
No, don't try to rhyme other things now that you can't rhyme Lisan.
I'm not trying to rhyme Lisan Al Gaib. I'm trying to put some pun on it. I'm trying to play on words on it. Wordplay. 30 Rock. Phenomenal show. No sitcom dad in that show.
No,
unfortunately.
The other big thing I think we got to talk about is Caitlin. Well, the national championship game, but Caitlin Clark specifically, because I know you had bounced something off me earlier.
Yeah,
Caitlin Clark. Did you watch the game?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, you were traveling.
Yes, but I was at the airport for the ceremony, for the trophy ceremony. So I saw everybody leaving the court.
Gotcha.
And stuff. And also now, so like I haven't paid attention to either tournament at all this year, but I have of course heard about some of the Caitlin Clark shit.
Yeah.
Especially like a lot of my friends were talking about it and stuff. And then the women's national championship. You got South Carolina. You got Iowa. And again, all I had heard about the women's tournament was Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the South Carolina team, and I'm like, I never would have bet on Iowa in a million fucking years. Anybody who did is a lunatic. I mean, for one thing, South Carolina has that one girl who is just a giant,
big body,
who's just a giant human being. Yeah. And then you
they had
look
two
at
of them. They had the one blonde girl too.
Yeah.
Is that who you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the
with the
girl
half sleeve with the.
I think so. She's got she had the really
sleeve.
long red hair. Yeah. She I was like she dominated that particular game as well. But they just had a good team. And you look at the Iowa team, especially when they're like walking to the tunnel defeated and dejected. It's like, sorry, ladies, but you were never going to take this one.
Yeah. I mean, South Carolina was undefeated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 37.
I can see why they were fucking. Yeah. I mean, you just look at them. It's like that's a good basketball team.
That woman that coaches the South Carolina team, her record in the past 3 years is 103-3.
That's fucking insane.
They have. Yeah. I think they only have like one loss in the last 2 years. I think they were undefeated last year too until they lost to
That's wild.
Iowa.
And they lost all
last year.
They lost. Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
And they lost all 5 of their starters from last year. I saw as well.
I know that. But here's the thing. I was, and I'll say I'm still somewhat in, but I was all in on the Caitlin Clark bandwagon. Not necessarily like betting on her to win that game or anything, but like just the whole ride and like the amount of publicity and I guess like attention that she's brought to women's basketball is awesome.
Yeah.
Like I think it's exciting to have people involved in that. And like there's a lot of people and what I'm going to say falls into this category, right? There's a lot of people on the internet right now that are like calling other people out saying like, oh, like so and so, like everybody wants to build Caitlin Clark up, and now like you're trying to tear her down, like blah blah blah, like just like as if like people are ragging on women's sports. And let me tell you something, that could not be less true, Andy. That is what people do with sports. Like people love to sports, like the most popular sports, like that you watch on TV, like the footballs, the basketballs, like people love to build people up just to be able to tear them down. Like that is their favorite thing. Stephen A. Smith has an entire career out of making hot takes.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what he does, right? And now people want to make takes about Caitlin Clark, and people are like, oh, you're trying to bring down the women's game. Not at all. If you are a true sports fan, this is exactly what you want. This is how you know that people are bought in to watching the women's game, because they're firing off hot takes.
That's a very good point. I mean, you're exactly right. Perfect example for your point is LeBron James. I mean, that guy, he was the best basketball player in the world for so long. Still, I mean, as old as he is, he's still very, very good. And, I mean, just think about how much hate that guy gets.
That's what I'm saying.
Insane.
That's what I'm saying, Andy. That is what I'm saying. People want to criticize the best. And, like, I'm sure I would assume Caitlin Clark feels that way. So the fact that other people are trying to, like, run to her defense, I think it's kind of stupid. Because this is what I'll say. No, you go ahead, actually, because then I'll fire my take.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, I think you're right, because even after the loss, she seemed like, obviously disappointed, but she seems like she carried herself very well.
Yeah.
Like, especially for getting all the media attention that she's gotten. She seems like she's got a pretty good head on her shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah. But,
Jesus.
Chewbacca style. But here's the thing, is I watched the game yesterday on Sunday for those listening. And I got to say, Andy, Caitlin Clark really upset me in that game. I know she had the 18-point first quarter and all that jazz. But at the end of the second quarter, there was like 20 seconds left. So when Iowa was inbounding the ball, they were down 2. So they have the ball, no shot clock, the opportunity to take the last shot, tie the game going into half. Caitlin Clark, like, dribbles the ball She gets the ball off. She inbounds the ball, gets it right back. She dribbles the ball over the half-court line, like standing there, waiting to let the clock tick down until they're going to run one final play, take one final shot before the end of half. And she's standing there dribbling super casually. And I think it was that girl that you were talking about with the red hair. Just steps in, snatches the ball from her, goes down, and scores and makes it a 4-point lead at half. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there watching, I watched the whole second half, and again, I might be fucking delusional. I don't know anything about basketball, but I feel like when you're like the best player or something like that, and like you have that, like, I'm not allowing myself to lose this game mentality, you don't stand there casually and get the ball stripped like that in a championship game. Like, you just can't do that. Like, I was so pissed. I'm like, what are you doing? And it happened again in the third quarter, maybe, or in the second half. Might have been the fourth quarter. Like, she comes over the line, like off the inbound, dribbling casually, and gets the ball stripped from her. It's like, what are you doing? Like, you're in the national championship game. Why are you dribbling like laissez-faire? Like,
yeah,
the other team is not going to just let you pull up from three just because you're like, they know that you want to shoot from deep. Like, so they're going to not let you do that. Like, they're going to guard you tight. And when you stand there dribbling casually, like, and they strip the ball and score off it twice, like, I don't know. I was just like pissed. I'm like, dude, come on, Caitlin Clark. Like, I was so on your side. Like, go out there and make a play. Like, go out there and dominate and win this. And then, again, at the end of the game, they're down like 8 or 9. I think they were down 8. But in that range. Just over 2 minutes left. South Carolina had just scored to go up 8. Caitlin Clark, or somebody inbounds the ball, goes right to Caitlin Clark. She sprints down the court and just pulls up from like the far left side, deep, and just like in transition, just throws a nuke, just clatters off the rim. South Carolina rebound. They go back down and they slow the pace because they're, now they're trying to control the clock. And I'm like, why on earth would you take that shot?
That's just.
And again, I don't know anything about basketball because here's the thing: if she hits that shot, guess what?
Sure.
South Carolina probably feels the pressure. The crowd probably gets into it and all that. But it's set up. Look for something like. And then if you get the ball back, try to hit your step back three. Like, but you take that shot and South Carolina gets the rebound so easy, and like it effectively ended the game. Like when it wasn't necessarily over yet, because you're down 8 with a little over 2 minutes to go. Like you've got a chance. If you score there, make it 6, get a stop, make it 4, quick. And again, you're probably still at like a minute left. So.
I mean, I think part of that is probably inexperience. Like, that stuff happens in college basketball all the time.
But I know, but she just did it last year. She played in the same game last year. Lost that one, too. That's what I was pissed about. Again, you're probably right. Like, it's college sports, but and they make mistakes like that all the time. But to me, I'm like, she is obviously a phenomenal basketball player. She's, probably the greatest. Well, I don't know because I've never really watched women's basketball, so I don't know if she's the greatest.
I would just say she's
player
a very famous one, but I don't.
But people talk about her like she's going to be like potentially the GOAT. She's got the scoring records and everything, so statistically, I guess you could say she's the greatest. I'm just like, I don't know. To me that feels like and again, and this is my problem. People would probably not. To us, but people out there, if Shannon Sharp or Stephen A said this, would be like, you're coming at her, blah blah, and try to make it something about like the fact that it's women's basketball as opposed to men's basketball. Not at all. I would say this about any other professional and or college basketball player, but like to me, like it almost felt like a bit of an ego move. Like and again, I know I just said like you got to be the one that goes out there to win that game, but sometimes you go out there and win the game by it not being you that wins it, right? Like, And I just thought, like, she just, like, if she hit, I think, again, I don't know if this is true, but I'm just totally speculating that, like, she comes down that corner and she's like, if I hit this bucket right here, like, the momentum's all lost. Like, I brought it back to us.
Probably.
Blah, blah. Like, I don't know. again, maybe that's the right play. Maybe a basketball coach is sitting there scratching his eyeballs out right now because he's like, no, that's what she should have done. But just from a very, very inexperienced fan, I'm like, why chuck that ball? Like, you're
That's
so
the thing.
deep.
I mean, that stuff happens all the time, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This is all in hindsight. Like, this is all in retrospect. So
Yeah.
you can't falter too hard for any of that, really. I don't think, or anyone who would be in that position, because we're talking about it now, all after the fact.
Yeah,
that's really what it comes down to.
I mean, obviously she's became very famous, so hopefully that'll be good for the WNBA, right? Like, hopefully people that have started watching Caitlin Clark in college will then fall over to watch her in the WNBA and get some eyes over there.
I wonder how she's gonna do when she joins, because she seems like small to me, but I guess that's the way it goes with college and like any sport. Like, maybe if she can put some muscle on her, she'll be all right. But she seems like, I don't know, because even women's basketball is like physical. Yeah, you got to be prepared for it, and especially seeing her go up against some of those South Carolina girls, like she's gonna have to. She's gonna have to work on some of her physicality for sure, and being a deep shooter like that, like having so much reliance on that in the past. Again, the defense is going to be better when she gets to the league. It's all going to be different.
Is the college line in women's basketball different than the college line in professional women's basketball, or than the pro line?
Oh, I have no idea.
Because it is in men's basketball, right?
I have no idea.
I think the men's college line is different than the NBA line.
I think so.
Looked that up.
It was. Okay.
It was. Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Let's see.
You're not typing anything.
Oh, good. No, I'm just.
Yeah.
I like to do a practice one first. I like to do a ghost Google and then
Yeah.
Okay. Difference. Difference between lunar and solar eclipse. Who the fuck is googling that?
A lot of people. Everything's
difference between.
Difference between stock and broth is a good question. What's the difference between a chicken broth and a chicken stock? Andy.
I don't have time to explain that to you.
NBA 23, NCAA men's. Yeah, so they are different. It's about 2 foot. It's a little under a 2 foot difference in men's, and it's a very small difference in women's.
Yeah, it's not even a foot.
No, it's 9 inches.
Cool.
The more you know.
But still, defense is going to be better. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know much about women's basketball, I guess, but I mean, if it's anything like men's, doing good in the tournament does not guarantee that you will do well in the league by even a little bit. Like,
I love that about men's basketball, though, because like these dudes, like Zach Edey's the perfect example. Like, he dominates. He plays for Purdue. He dominates like men's college basketball. Like,
yeah.
I mean, he's over 7 foot tall. Like, nobody can do anything about him. Every time somebody tries to go up and stop him, it's a foul because he's just so big. Like, but he's not. I don't even think he is getting a sniff in the NBA.
Yeah,
because he's been in college for like 5. Like, he's old. You know what I mean? He's not like a one-and-doner.
Yeah, the list of guys who. The list of great college players who just became duds in the NBA is a mile long. I mean, Christian Laettner's probably the most famous one, but more recently, although still not that recently because this was like 10 years ago. But again, I mean, this is just a touchstone for me because this is when I was really watching college basketball. It's like Jahlil Okafor, who was the center for
what about Jimmer?
Duke. Jimmer, sure. I remember Jimmer. That's going even further back.
In the 3-on-3 Olympic tournament.
Did you know
3-on-3 basketball is an Olympic sport?
I think I did hear that.
I didn't know that. It's like take-backs. You play half court.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
I think that's relatively new.
And it's like you just go. So like guys stand under the hoop and just fire the ball out after the other team scores. Just try to get a quick 3.
It's 3-on-3, baby. That's the playground. Okay, you got to do to do it. I had something to bring to the table here, and that was something I learned today, Matthew. A secret that is going to have to, I think, need some further exploration from the two of us.
All right.
This might be the first step on a journey of 1,000 miles.
Okay.
A treasure hunt, if you will, to find
Always in
truth,
for treasure.
to find justice, to find self-fulfillment, and most importantly, Matthew, to find hot dogs.
I'm in.
Yep, I knew that would get your attention.
Yeah, I love a glizz.
Every burp I've done this podcast has been a hot dog burp. I ate 4 of them today.
Oh, yeah, because they were grinding dogs at our parents' house, right?
They were grinding dogs.
Oh,
no, this was at the other place I was
They
at.
were grinding dogs,
dogs
too?
Hot dogs is the
Eclipse
official.
dogs?
Hot dogs is the official food of Solar Eclipse. I didn't know you knew
Solar
that.
Eclipse sponsored by Salines?
Yeah.
Like in Hancock, when they carved that dude, when Hancock carves the dude's logo into the moon.
Yep.
Salins just has their logo on the moon.
If you had the right glasses on, you could see it. So, there's a hot dog place around here, very famous. It's called Ted's.
Familiar. Fan, actually. But, you go first.
I'm a fan of Ted's. If you're not a fan of Ted's,
No,
I'm
I'm
going
a
to be
fan, but can I throw one? I'm going to want to throw off your story.
Go.
My only qualm with Ted's is the pricing. Continue.
Okay, sure. This is a solution to that, actually. Have you ever heard of the golden hot dog?
No.
Matthew, I just heard about it today, and I will look it up for you. Ted's golden hot dog. So Ted's has this program where fucking Google.
It's right there.
I know. I'm clicking on the thing. So Ted's has this thing called the golden hot dog keychain, which if you get one, it's free hot dogs for life. You bring it into any Ted's location. This is what it looks like. Oh, that's us. This is what it looks like. And you get free hot dogs for life. Not only that, but you can pass it down. So your grandchildren get free hot dogs. And your grandchildren's grandchildren get free hot dogs. So even because Ted's is mostly around here, but they do have a location in Phoenix. It's been tested. It goes down there. So there's 90 of them out right now. No, people.
They already exist?
They already exist. People don't know who has them. Some people have won them in like private auctions and things like that, or sometimes Ted's will give them out to like special people. Some like I heard they gave one to like some city council member or something who like helped them with some kind of deal or whatever. So it's a very exclusive Illuminati-esque thing. And Matthew, I think that we can get one somehow.
I need one. And if Ted is listening, if Theodore is listening,
yeah,
I'll throw this out there too. I actually don't eat hot dogs when I go to Ted's. I only eat cheeseburgers and a split. I get two regular cheeseburgers and a split. But I want one bad. So really, by giving me one, you'd be saving yourself money.
And by giving me one, you will go out of business. Which I don't want to happen, but I do need those free hot dogs.
So how do you acquire one? The rumors are true. Ted's, and we're giving them away on National Hot Dog Day. Is that current? Click on that.
This is kind of this is from a while ago.
Oh, okay. So that's when they started then, huh?
Yeah.
So how are they gonna give more out? Was that part, or there's 90 out there?
Well, there's 90 out there, and I think there's potential for more. But again, it's like I think the CEO of Pfizer has one. The Sultan of Brunei, Jay-Z, the Lisan Al Gaib might have a golden hot dog. I think Jay-Z has one. Dick Cheney, and I think that we need to either. Listen, there's a lot of talk about secret societies, and I don't care about the Illuminati. I don't care about whatever, the Clintons are in with, or what's that thing, Bohemian Grove. I don't care about Bohemian Grove. I just want a Ted's golden hot dog. And I don't want to say I'll do anything to get it because R.I.P. Jeffrey Epstein, but I think we can't. Listen, the point of this podcast is now to get a golden hot dog from Ted's.
I'm all in. That's all I want. And again, I don't even want to use it, Andy. I want to dangle it in other people's faces.
You just want it as a status symbol.
Off. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Big time I do.
I think you show up to certain clubs, restaurants, golden keychain, right this way, Mr. Canada.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're all booked. Oh, Ted's golden hot dog? Right this way, Mr. Cannon.
Dude.
Something like that. It's a bit of a right this way situation.
We got to reach out to Ted and see how we get one.
I think just now floating it out into the ether, something will happen. If we give them like even, something like free ads.
If anybody has one,
that's not a bad deal.
If anybody has one, please come forth, even in secrecy.
No, we'll blur your face.
Yeah.
We'll change your
tell
name.
us
It's
how
a witness
you acquired
protection thing. Yeah.
Dude, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know this existed.
Nobody did. How'd
you find out about it?
Our dad told me about it.
How does he know?
I think he read about it somewhere. He read about it in
Wall Street Journal.
It was somewhere in the Dead Sea Scrolls. I think the Council of Nicaea had something to do with the Ted's Golden Hot Dog, something like that. Our forefathers. Actually, it's if you flip over the Bill of Rights, and you use invisible ink, you get a little map to the Ted's Golden Hot Dog secret.
Do you think they'd give me a golden split?
Wow, that's asking a lot. You want your old thing, or you want your own golden deal from Ted's?
Dude, the split is a genius creation.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to cost them nothing. Like, French fries and onion rings have to be super cheap, right?
Yeah, I guess I'll take a dog. That's
all.
Yeah,
let's not try to negotiate with them.
No,
we don't even have our hands on a golden hot dog.
Yeah,
but I do want one.
If I do get one, that might be my first play though. Now that I have this,
try and get a full fucking meal.
No, I'll do a Swapski.
Split for a dog.
Yeah, split for a dog.
All right. Well, why don't we get into the who would win of the week?
We should, because then we got to wrap up as we know.
Okay.
The special Eclipse episode.
The who would win of the week this week is Phil Dunphy from Modern Family versus Jerry from Rick and Morty. Couple of TV dads, both kind of doofuses. I mean, the one thing about Phil Dunphy is that he does have a job, which is usually more than you can say about Jerry Smith. So that's big. Here's the thing. I don't know if Phil is necessarily smarter than Jerry. I think Jerry might be smarter than Phil, to tell you the truth. But Phil, even if he's goofy, even if he's a bit of a doofus, he is driven. Like, he tries things. Like, he
bought that parking lot.
He bought that parking lot like that. I mean, that shows you a lot right there. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Jerry Smith is always kind of like looking for the easy way out, blaming people for his problems, like just being a real kind of, as much as he looks and oftentimes kind of, I think, comes across as like just a typical kind of regular guy who's maybe a little dumb, maybe a little down on his luck, he really is a piece of shit. Like, there's that part in Rick and Morty where he like tries to borrow money from his daughter. Like, that's what you do if you're a piece of shit. Like, I think the only other people who do that are like pill addicts and stuff like that. And that's the level that I put Jerry Smith on. And Phil Dunphy, like, say what you will about him, sure, he's made a lot of mistakes, sure, he's oblivious to a lot of stuff. He is not gonna try and sell one of his daughter's kidneys or something like that, no. Right? And that's a Jerry Smith move.
The thing about, I actually don't know if I knew that Jerry was like that much of a scumbag.
Yeah, he is.
I hate Jerry.
I know. I mean, because like there's parts of it where, because Jerry just acts so pitiful, like, it almost seems like maybe he deserves that you should feel bad for him a little bit, but then he's a piece of shit.
Yeah. See,
and
here's
Phil
the
isn't.
thing that I like about Phil Dunphy is like, one, he's like ultra positive. Right, in the sense where, like, when something goes wrong, for the most part, he always finds a way to spin it into something going right, which seems to be the exact opposite of Jerry, right? Yeah. Like, Jerry just mopes. The other thing is, and this is something I think we can both relate to, is Phil Dunphy has the kind of anxiety about unknown situations that are probably never bound to happen.
You think Phil Dunphy would run into the house during an eclipse? During totality?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
But that's not necessarily what I was saying. That was mean, first of all.
No, it wasn't.
What I'm saying is, like, we had this conversation when we were talking about going to California, and it's like Phil Dunphy has that kind of anxiety ingrained in him where he's mapping out potential like unrealistic scenarios in his head of like conversations or things that could happen that are ridiculous but could cause whatever his plan is to go wrong. Whereas I don't think that's how Jerry's kind of like squirmy anxiety works. I think Jerry's like oddballishness.
I'll tell you what I think it is.
Just
I think Jerry's anxiety is more of like a kind of a selfish anxiety. Like he's nervous, but he doesn't want to. But he'll like push anybody in front of the alligator. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he'll push anybody in front of the bullet.
Whereas Phil Dunphy is not that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Jerry, though, you know, the thing about like just the Rick and Morty's universe in general and like what that family gets into, like he's certainly been in more scrappy situations, I think, than Phil, and like very, very weird things, and has come out on the other side. So if he's going face to face with just like a regular guy, I do think that he is going to go into it with a lot of confidence. However, the one thing about Jerry Smith's confidence, the one thing about Jerry Smith's confidence is that it never lasts long.
See, I don't think he would have confidence to begin with, because the thing about when Jerry gets put in situations in Rick and Morty is he doesn't do anything. Like he mostly turtles.
Right.
And then, like, obviously Rick and Morty get them out of it. Or, like, when something weird happens to him, like, they put him back together, and he just freaks out the whole time that whatever weird is going on with him. And, like, that's all that is. Whereas, again, Phil Dunphy, like, with his probably sometimes overconfident self and over-positivity mixed in with his probably ability to, or his natural instinct to plan for unique scenarios that most people expect not to happen, but might happen when you're fighting a character from the Rick and Morty universe. I think it's Phil Dunphy every time. Also, I just think physically, like, Phil Dunphy looks like he could beat the shit out of Jerry. Like, I actually hate. I wasn't even thinking about it, and then you kind of were explaining how he's a dirtbag, but just I hate the way he looks. He's a cartoon, and I hate the way he looks. Like, I just want to punch him in the face.
I do think you're right. I think Phil's probably got the physical edge. Because, again, Phil is like a driven guy, and Jerry just doesn't have that. And, you know, the reason we picked these two characters is because they're both TV dads. And I think that which one is the better father actually does come into play here, because Phil obviously is the better father, as much as, again, his goofiness, his anxiety. He does try to do right by his kids. That is not really that much of a priority for Jerry. That's why Summer and Morty do not respect him. And I think that's going to...
Is he divorced?
I think... No, I don't think so. They were, like, separated, and now I think they're back together.
I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. But I think that Phil... having that experience of being a dad where he has tried to the point where, yes, he's failed at certain times, but he's also wanting to succeed, is going to put him in a position mentally to win this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking Phil Dunphy here.
There we go. Phil Dunphy all the way, folks.
I hate Jerry. Vote on that on Friday on Instagram. Who would win of the week? Phil Dunphy versus from Modern Family versus Jerry from Rick and Morty.
Terrific.
Andy.
Yeah.
As we wrap up our special Eclipse show. That's all I got.
Okay, that's what an outro. What an outro, folks. You know, the Eclipse doesn't scare me. I'm excited for another one. I didn't mean that as a slight to you. My bad. I didn't mean that as a slight to you, Matthew. I didn't. I didn't
say I was scared of the Eclipse. I said it was eerie when it happened. It was weird. I didn't like it.
If wethesaurus.com, that sort of thing, I think. I don't want to push this. I don't want to push this issue with you. I don't want to push this issue with you because I'm not trying to judge you on this, and I'm not. I really didn't bring that up. I was gonna, because we were joking earlier about, one of the who would win of the week ideas that I threw out there was me versus the Eclipse. Now I do kind of wish it had been you versus the Eclipse, because I think that would have been kind of funny.
What did you say when we talked about that, Andy?
Here's the thing. That's the thing. The Eclipse, stare right at it. Folks, I hate to break it to you, but the Eclipse has been gone for a while. My eyes are still here. So, who would win?
The Eclipse. You didn't stare at. You admitted you were doing one of these.
Well, I was kind of going like,
Yeah.
that.
Andy, happy Eclipse.
Happy Eclipse.
I love you.
And also with your spirit. I love you too. Let's get out of here. Thanks, folks.